Man, that is a shock to me a little bit. It
That's
both is
awesome.
shocking and makes sense.
Yeah.
Welcome to After Listen, the music discovery and discussion podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon Lee.
And I'm Terry O.
What's up, Terry?
What's going on?
It's a good week, man. This week, we're discussing our favorite songs by actors. To make it more interesting, we've restricted our selections to only include artists that we felt were more well known for their acting rather than their music. I think that should spice it up a little bit. This week, I think we have a solid mix of artists, some you'll surely recognize, while others I hope surprise you. And we do love listening to music, but to avoid any issues, here are just a few quick disclaimers. Hopefully you guys are kind of used to these by now. Number one, we respect everyone's opinion, regardless of how wrong or awful it may be. Two, this episode will feature explicit language, so you have been warned. Some of the songs we listen to have explicit language. It's a conversational podcast, sometimes things will slip out. Number three, we're just talking about the music, not the artist's real life issues. None of that will be discussed or brought in. And number four, due to copyright issues, we will not be playing any of the songs discussed throughout the podcast in the episode. In the future, with enough support, we can look at this again. But in the meantime, check out the playlist on the website.
Yep, it's very easy. You can always go to afterlistenpod.com and find links to the playlist that you can listen to the songs and then come back to listen to it after you listen.
All right. Well, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive right in, I guess. You wanna start this week?
Sure, why not? Because I'm very curious about this one. So, um, you introduced me to the song called "Make Me Wanna Die" by Pretty Reckless. I have no idea who this person is, but I love the song. The song is fire. I
Oh
like the
man,
song.
this
The song is so
band,
good.
this band is pretty great. Pretty good, like alt rock, indie type band music. Okay, so you know the Jim Carrey version of The Grinch, right?
Yeah, it's been a very long time since I've seen it, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I know it came out in like, I don't know, 2005 or so, somewhere around then. So, the little girl that plays Cindy or Cindy or Lindy Lou Who, I think it's
hmm
Cindy. The little girl that like is on the Grinch's side throughout, is like kind of his champion or whatever, ends up making his heart grow 3 sizes in one day.
hmm
She's the lead singer of this band.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Would have never guessed that
Yep.
in a million years. That's amazing.
It was sometime I think like either senior year of high school or like freshman year of college, around 10 years or so ago, I stumbled across this because that's whenever their like first EP or album, which I think this song, if I'm not mistaken, came off of, because this was actually one of the songs I remembered after I found that. I was like, I gotta go check this out. And this was one of the songs at the time I was like, oh man, like this is, like you said, like I really like this group. They got a good sound. I love
hmm
her like kind of husky, like whenever a female singer has a like husky kind of rock
Yeah.
singing, man,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
um, but so yeah, definitely a big surprise. I think most people would not affiliate the cute little girl from the Grinch movie as a like rock singer. I think most people that are probably, well, maybe not most, but I'm sure a lot of people that are fans of the Pretty Reckless may not even be aware of the connection.
Yeah.
But yeah, this song was still, according to YouTube, still one of their like top songs 10 years on. So I decided to go with this one as it's one that I remembered whenever I first discovered this almost a decade ago. Yeah, Make Me Want
Yeah.
to Die.
Yeah, I definitely like that song. It definitely gives me, and I hate, well, not to compare, but I'm just kind of just spitballing here. So, they're totally different bands, but listening to this song, she definitely gives me, what's the chick from In This Moment? That rock band. If you ever listen to them, like she kind of gives me that kind of vibe, which I like metal when it's like rock when it's like grimy like that. I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same. Like
definitely a fan
again,
of that one.
just I'm not quite sure how to put it beyond how I already did, but just that like kind of throaty. I don't know if husky is like really the right word for the quality of her voice that she
No,
has.
no, I think that's a good word. I like it. Husky.
But man, just something about that is like just draws me in whenever I hear that. It's like it just makes
hmm
me want to listen to more of it. They have the band Pretty Reckless has several albums that continuously has pumped out music over the years. I don't believe she's done any like major acting roles since the Grinch. Might have been in like one or two of the small things that never made it near as big as the Grinch did. But I think most people definitely like know of her from that and would not really know that again that she's part of a band
That's
and that
awesome.
they're like it's not just like because I do feel a lot of these artists we're going to be talking about, or at least several of them on this list today, will be kind of the songs we're going to be talking about were more like one-offs or an actor that was kind of dipping their toes and testing out the music. No, she full on career shifted.
Yeah,
She's not an actor who's like at this point in time. She's not an actor that's doing music. She's a musician that previously acted, which I thought was
gotcha.
really cool. Um,
Yeah.
and again, just the whole I was blown away whenever I first saw this because like if you look up pictures of her, she's got like like the fishnet tights on and like just the like kind of like you said like kind of grimy rock look about her, and it totally is just such a juxtaposition compared to the cute little Cindy Lou Who from The Grinch.
Yeah, yeah, she definitely escaped that whole cute and cuddly vibe.
Oh yeah, which a lot of people kind of struggle with that as if you're like a child actor. I've noticed like they kind of get pigeonholed into whatever their child acting roles were, and people just kind of fixate on well they just seem to be like this. But no, she did a good job branching off, and as far as I can tell, has been pretty wildly successful. Well, maybe not
Okay.
wildly, but fairly successful.
Okay. Well, speaking of child actors, I'm going to pivot to one of my picks that I had you listen to, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that one. Going out
Okay.
of order a little bit. So Standards by Keke Palmer.
Okay, this is one of the ones I know the name Kiki Palmer, but
Uh-huh.
you and me were talking off the air. We decided not to like Google any of the names or groups or whatever, so that this would kind of be a surprise and we could discuss this more on air or whatever. But I
Mm-hmm.
like I know I've probably seen her in some things, but
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't like place where. So like this one was kind of a surprise. The song itself,
Mm-hmm.
um, what was the name of the song?
Standards.
Standards. Yeah, this was actually one of my not like top favorite, but it was definitely like closer to the top than some of the other ones I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, definitely did not. I mean, it's got a little bit more of the pop feel or whatever, but again, I'm trying to remember if it was this one or the other. I think it was this one, but she also had the quality of her voice kind of like draws me in a good
Mm-hmm.
way. Um,
Yeah. So Keke Palmer, she's been acting a long time, so like she's currently still acting as well. So more recently, she was in the Jordan Peele movie Nope.
and that's I still have yet to see that. It's on my list to see.
Hmm.
Okay. That
So
might
so
be that's probably the most recent thing like I saw her like at least advertisements, for that movie that I've seen her name pop up at.
hmm
Um
but like she's been doing her acting thing way back since Aquila and the Bee. She was Aquila, like the little girl in the spelling bee.
no way. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Did I
yeah,
love that movie way
yeah.
back when? It's a good movie.
Yep, yep, yeah. So that was her, and now Aquila is a mom. Now she recently had a baby and everything.
Oh,
But the
okay.
thing about Keke Palmer
Congratulations,
is like,
Kiki.
yeah, go ahead, Keke, do your thing. But the thing about Keke Palmer, like she's been doing R&B music and pop music for a very long time, in between acting and everything. But her music never really took off, and I have some thoughts about it. But it also relates to another person who has a song on this list, and I think Keke was also struggling with that same issue that the other person had as well.
I will say it's just in my opinion, it wasn't like anything groundbreaking.
Oh no, not at all. But it's still a good
It
song. But
was oh, it's still a good song. Don't get me wrong. I didn't not like any of these songs. Double
yeah,
negative there. I liked all of the songs. Um, but yeah, it was just a little bit. I, I feel like this is going to make it sound worse than it is, but I can't think of another way to put it. A little bit cookie cutter in a
yeah,
sense.
100%. It's definitely cookie cutter. The main thing I do appreciate about the song is she didn't use a lot of autotune because she really can
That's
sing.
true. That's true.
Um,
You definitely could tell that too. That it's her voice.
mhm.
And again, she definitely has a good quality of voice that, like I said at the beginning, drew me in and wanted me to keep listening. But then just as I was listening, I was like, it's nothing like I said, another too groundbreaking, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah, and this song came out this year, so it's actually a new
Oh,
song.
really? Now, what's one thing I was curious is if again, like I said before, a lot of these kind of seem like they might be like kind of one off, kind of dip your toes in, and they're not like fully committing to the music. So it's interesting that she's apparently been doing this for years.
Hmm.
Um,
But again, just in the industry, and then she just trying to find a style, and then with the floodgates open in the music industry, is really hard to stand out. So, I mean, and truth be told, I'm quite sure she's getting more of the bag acting compared to doing music. But she always had a passion with music and stuff. So even on her IG, like she'll just bust out and do like an acapella song out of nowhere and just be singing and stuff. So
I hope that she continues to make music and that she can kind of really find her own unique sound, voice, style, whatever you want to call it. As I said, I think she does have some good qualities that I would like to see expanded on and kind of fleshed out. You know, maybe she could be the next true double threat if she really stuck to it. But also, you just said she had a baby, so I'm sure that she's going to be taking some time away to deal with some family things, which is fair. But
yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of triple threats, let's talk about Tenacious D tributes.
oh man, so I've been a Jack Black fan most of my life, I would say. Way back in, I want to say it was the 90s, but it could have been early 2000s. There's a movie he was in, Shallow Hal, with him and Gwyneth Paltrow. May or may not have seen
Hmm.
it. That was the first movie I remember seeing him in, and like ever since then, I've just anything he's in, I've loved. His band, it's him and another guy, Kyle uh, Gage. I don't know why I'm blanking on that at the moment, but Kyle is definitely his first name,
Hmm.
or KG, and their band Tenacious D. They actually came out with a movie in like 2004, 2005 called Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. That was like a fantastical telling of their like coming together, forming a band or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, and of course, that was I was already a huge fan of Jack Black. The movie is hilarious. As a band, they're definitely more of like there's a lot of comedic elements within the songs, just across the board. But you can also tell. I mean, if you don't know already, Jack Black is just an incredible singer, like truly, really talented. Can really belt out a note and like harness deep, deep lung power to just like do some good metal singing, screaming type stuff. And then
Hmm.
his partner Kyle is a really, really good guitarist. So that was the introduction, my introduction to them as a band. And of course, after that, being a youngster with my friends, you know, LimeWire and Napster and all that, went and
Hmm.
found all their other music. And this was one of the songs that has always been one of my favorites because just of the subject matter. It's a tribute to the greatest song in the world that they randomly played because they were hitchhiking down a road and a demon like challenged them to play the greatest song in the world or he was going to eat their souls. But they can't remember because it was in the moment. Now that they're in the booth recording, they can't remember that song. So instead, they're just
Hmm.
playing a tribute to that song, and it's so cheeky. It's so like on brand for them as a band, and it's not necessarily the most how do I, it doesn't like show or demonstrate their skills as much as other songs did, but this is definitely whenever I think of Tenacious D and like kind of what they stand for as a band, this is always like one of the first songs that pops in my head.
Yeah, I definitely recognize Jack Black's voice. I didn't know about the other guy, but yeah, that's dope. I never saw that movie though. I vaguely remember that movie, but around that time I wasn't really checking for rock like that. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the song. I enjoyed the like the story that it was telling, and how the fact they even like acknowledged the fact it was like, yeah, the tribute. Matter of fact, it didn't even sound anything like this song, but this is just a tribute. Like I can't remember how it went, but it was great. So
Yeah.
just just take my word for it.
Um. Okay. Since you want to talk about Kiki Palmer, I'm going to talk about the other one that, in my mind, these two kind of went together. Maybe not for
Hmm.
you, but they did for me, and that was "Too Much" by Tiffany Haddish.
Okay. Okay.
This was another one where like, okay, so I know the name Tiffany. I couldn't remember. Is she like a comedian, an actor? Where I don't
Hmm.
know where I've seen that name before.
Hmm.
Again, I didn't Google it, even though this was one of the ones that was like driving me crazy because like I know this name.
Hmm.
Um, this one was probably one of my least favorites
Hmm.
on your picks, just because for a lot of the same reasons that I brought up, or you know, quote unquote negatives I brought up for the Kiki Palmer song. It's a lot more poppy than R&B ish than Kiki Palmer's, but it's very cookie cutter. Her voice is
Yeah.
good, but it's also like auto tuned a little bit more to kind of hit that like poppy party type feel. Didn't really
Hmm.
move me a whole lot, but I will say the beat. on that song. Despite it being like a pop song, despite myself, I couldn't help but
It's
like it.
catchy, right?
It is catchy, like just the beat, the production alone. I was like, okay,
Hmm.
definitely made it pleasurable to listen to every time it popped up as I was listening to this playlist over and over.
Yeah, yeah. So Tiffany Haddish is a comedian first and foremost who got into acting. She was brought into acting through Kevin Hart actually. So Kevin
Oh,
Hart kind of discovered her a little bit, and then she's been doing her thing ever since. She was she kind of blew up after that movie Girl Strip with like Queen Latifah and Jada Pinkett Smith and all of them. She doesn't really do music. I just happened to find a song. I was okay, so I don't even know how. Okay, so this is what had happened was okay. What had happened was right. So I was for some reason I went on a what's the name dude's name Jason Mraz.
mm-hmm.
I went out a rabbit hole with him. Um, I don't even know how. I just Jason Mraz. Oh yeah, I kind of remember his name. Was just like seeing what kind of new music he had out, and then he had a song featuring Tiffany Haddish. I was like, what? Jason Mraz featuring Tiffany Haddish. So I listened to that song. I'd have put that one on this one. Because that one's far worse than this one. Uh,
Okay.
so 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 I put it on there. It's a good song. It has a meaning to it. It's nice. It's uplifting. But she, and I'm using air quotes, raps on that song, and it's not great.
Ugh.
So then I was just like, Tiffany Haddish doing music now. So then I found this song too much, and for the exact reasons that you mentioned, the beat got me. The song itself is, it's whatever. It's a pregame song or whatever.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
mean,
way to
it's
put it.
yeah, but I just thought it was just funny because a lot of people may not even know that Tiffany Haddish dropped the song, and she has a very unique voice anyway, just her speaking voice and her cadence and everything else, and then for her to try to sing and do the auto tune and rap song talky whatever. I just thought it would be funny to put this on this list.
It was definitely a pick that like caught me a little by surprise. Because again, like
Hmm.
whenever the beat first came on, I was like, okay, okay, I'm digging it. What's this about? And then she starts singing, and I'm like, okay. It's not like by any means the worst song I've ever heard. Like it's still a
Mm,
good song, but like you said, it's a good like pregame song. You kind of have it bumping in the background, get people kind of hyped up without actually listening to it. It's not really a song you
exactly.
want to just sit down and like deeply like go line by line and like really. It's not
No.
a thinker at all.
No, definitely not. It's just you put this on, you getting ready to go out, or you already like, pull it up or whatever. It's definitely one of them kind of songs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, okay, well, while we're in the category of comedians, let's talk about Adam Sandler, Lunchlady Land.
Have you heard this before I put it on the playlist? Have you heard any of his comedic music?
I heard. Okay, so here's the thing. I was forced to listen to some of his stuff back in the day by some, I wouldn't say friends, I would say classmates or associates or whoever that thought this was the most funniest shit on the earth. And I was like, okay. Um, so, but I don't remember this song in particular. I remember they're all gonna laugh at you. I remember hearing that over and over and over again. And that was like the little thing that they kept doing over and over and over again that like killed it. But then I listened to Lunch Ladyland, and
Did it reinforce your past experiences, or was it a different experience this time?
oh, it I was triggered. Um,
Which part triggered you exactly?
all of it.
All of
It's
it?
just yeah. So here's the thing. I have a love hate relationship with Adam Sandler. Same thing with Will Ferrell. It's just it's either a hit or it's a complete and utter miss with them two. And this one for me, I mean, maybe because I'm a little bit older, or it's just something like I can deal with the Water Boy and all of that, but it's just no, I hated this one. I'm sorry, I hated it so much.
Okay.
Like the first time I listened to it, I had a chuckle, and then upon re-listening, I could not hit the skip button fast enough. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
in all fairness, I also skipped it most of my playthroughs of this playlist. Um, okay, so like you, I had several friends as a young lad that really, really loved. I mean, I do love Adam Sandler as an actor. Like all of his like '90s, early 2000s movies are like huge parts of my childhood. His comedic albums, though, were definitely not like near the top of my must listen, love this list.
Hmm.
Like I was saying, I had a bunch of friends who did like him, or at least his, his music a little bit more than me. And I also kind of experienced. I don't necessarily remember specific songs, but I do remember some of the songs or like parts from the songs being like kind of overplayed and kind of driven into the ground by classmates and whatnot.
Hmm.
But this was the one song I remember as a kid that just for some reason tickled me pink whenever I was little. Maybe it might be because I had, I believe, a lunch lady, or maybe even a couple lunch ladies that definitely, which I'm sure most people probably did. That's why the song is kind of relatable or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, definitely was like as a 9, 10 year old, I'm like, oh yeah, that could be my lunch lady he's talking about.
Oh
And
yeah.
then really the only part that like I still, despite how much older I am and what I would like to think mature that I've gotten, whenever he comes in and he's like, Sloppy Joe, a sloppy Joe, I can't help the few times I did actually listen to it. I was like the one part I was like singing along to. It's such a dumb song about the food attacking the lunch lady in Lunch Lady Land, and the Sloppy Joe comes and saves her, and then they end up getting married or whatever.
That was my least favorite part of the song when I try to like, because like getting ready for the recording today, I was like, let me give it one more playthrough all the way through,
I even
and
skipped
then
it today.
yeah, and like I try to give it its due diligence, and I get the premise of it. I guess what kills me with this is like, okay, everybody knows comedy is subjective. Everything ain't for everybody. That
Yeah.
being said, for me, if you're breaking while recording or you trying to deliver a line, I mean, if you gonna commit to the bit, you gotta commit to the bit. So when he's like
Yeah.
sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe, I'm just like, okay, no, you having too much fun with it. So like that kind of that took me out of it for me. So like there's
Yeah.
some people that can break and then you kind of can join them in on the laughter, but that one I was just like, dude, I literally like popped my eyes out of my head and rolled my eyes so hard and like just threw them out the window because I couldn't do this. that one, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
this was
sorry, it
definitely
was
more of
bad.
a nostalgia pick, but I
Yeah,
think probably because the quality of the music is just not that great. Most people probably have forgotten,
yeah.
or maybe even in some cases, like yourself, until this podcast episode, have forced yourself to forget that he
Yes,
had comedic
100%.
albums, to
Totally
just
forgot.
focus on him as an actor.
Yep.
So yeah, this was definitely. I'm not even gonna lie about it. This is a nostalgia pick. This is
Yeah.
definitely not something that is routinely on my playlist today.
Mhm. Mhm. No,
I'm
I mean,
probably gonna
look.
have to work to make sure that it doesn't pop up from time to time now that I've been listening to it for the last week,
I
2 weeks.
mean, look. I mean, you're amongst friends. Between me and the audience, you ain't got to lie. If you got this on repeat all day long and you go to sleep with it on, it's okay. It's all right.
I definitely don't. But look,
I don't think
I
any
even
less of you, man. It's
I
okay.
even went through the album that this one's off of. I even went through painfully, I might add, and listened to pretty much all the other songs to see if maybe there was a better song that I just
Hmm.
like hadn't remembered from back in the day. This is, in my opinion at least, I think the best one of the album, which
Oh, jeez.
again, after everything we just said, says a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. That one was tough. That was a
yeah,
tough listen.
yeah. But like I said, I picked this one for nostalgia and because it really fit the theme of like actors that have made music that like are definitely more known for their acting. Because like I said, I don't think hardly anybody remembers these albums that he made for
Yeah. Yeah.
somewhat good reason.
Exactly. I think it should be buried out there with those ET video games in the desert somewhere. Speaking of actors that I know you absolutely love, let's talk about 30 Seconds to
I
Mars.
was I was gonna do that one next. Yeah. Okay, so it's not like I'm like a hater on 30 Seconds to Mars or anything. They're just I don't know. I've not to be fair, I've not went and listened to like their discography or I've not like sat and like listened to like a whole album. It's just whenever they like really got big in like the mid to late 2000s, I heard them everywhere, and they kind of got mentally put in the basket of like overplayed bands like Nickelback and like some other groups that like I was just like, I don't want to hear you anymore. Stop. And then with Jared, I
Jared
don't know,
Leto.
Leto. Thank you. I was blanking on that. With him
Hmm.
getting into acting and everything, definitely made me just like, to my shame, because especially with some of the like really good songs we have on here, I kind of filed him away as, oh, he's just, he's a singer trying to get, or technically he was an actor first, but
Hmm.
I didn't know that until much later on that that was the case. But I was like, he's a singer trying to break into acting or whatever. It's like, yeah, whatever. He's obviously, he got his millions in music, and now he's trying to do something else because it's not that great. That was like younger me's thought process, right? This
Hmm.
song in particular, "Hell to the Victor," I've not listened to 30 Seconds to Mars in years, and I had all this, like all the baggage I was just talking about mentally coming into this. This is a good song, bro. This is a good
Yeah.
song, and I didn't check really. I don't. I think only like this one and another one of your songs actually saw or like checked to see if there was music videos for the music video. I don't know if you've seen the music video for
I
this
didn't.
one,
I
but
didn't.
it like cuts out, and it basically was just like a bunch of shots of him like touring around the world, but then it cuts out in the middle with like people saying like, "What's my dream?" and like then at the end it comes in with like people talking about how like this band is just, they're all about people pursuing what they're passionate about and being who they are. And like I didn't necessarily like just listening to the song. I didn't necessarily get that like that was the theme of the song per se, but it definitely was kind of cool to just see like one, of course, as he's playing all over the world or whatnot, all the thousands of fans and stadiums and whatnot. But then also people coming out and like tearfully talking about like what the band means to them and like how it's allowed them the passion to chase what they want to do and stuff was really, really awesome. So I gotta at least give it to him that, even though I filed him away, he has apparently, or them as a band have apparently really impacted some people.
Hmm.
But this song is just like a solid rock. I mean, I can't lie, Jared Leto is a good singer. All of the other musicians are pretty solid musicians from what I can tell. It's not like, super crazy rock with like people are like shredding on the guitar or some crazy drum solos or anything like that. But I mean, it's nice, decent, high quality rock music. Yeah, man, I dug it more than I thought I would coming into it.
You know what? I am pleasantly surprised. I was actually prepared for you to shit all over that,
No, I
but
was
like,
prepared too. I like before I even listened, I was like, "This is gonna be one. I want to be roasting him on the episode with this one." But I can't even lie, man. This was one of my favorite ones on your picks. I think
okay,
it was up there.
yeah, yeah. We just need him to stay away from Joker because that's one miss for sure when he was trying to be the
Oh,
Joker in the Suicide Squad. That
yeah,
laugh, ah, 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 nobody want to hear that shit. That was
yeah. I
not
didn't
our Joker.
realize though for years, just going back to what I was saying, where he was an actor first. I think his
Hmm.
like first big acting role, and this was the movie again because I didn't see this until I was like much older, reasonably so. But Requiem for a Dream, if you've ever seen that
Hmm.
movie. Definitely a movie you only see once and then
Hmm.
file away as like I never want to watch that again. But yeah, it's he's had an interesting acting career, and I think most people probably because of like we don't need to get into it, but the shenanigans that kind of surrounded his Joker and all that stuff, like it definitely I just remember seeing like a lot of like news articles and stuff like that, and how he's like just a much more eccentric, I think is a good word, personality. Um,
Yeah.
What if you know off the top of your head, what year did this like song slash album? Is this like a newer
Uh,
one or is this kind of older?
it's
I don't even
newer
know if they're
ish.
still are they still like making music like today?
I think that one was their most recent album, but like, I think this came out in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, "Hail to the Victor" isn't like the main song off the album. It's like definitely like in the middle, kind of. But to me, I think it's the best song off the album. But they even got like ASAP Rocky on there, and they got Halsey on there too. So I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
yeah. So they're doing their thing. But I like that song a lot more. Once I heard that song, I was like, yeah, this is going in my rotation.
All right, it's
Mhm.
definitely one that's going to mine.
Oh yeah, good, good. Finally converted you over to a Jared Leto fan. My mission has been complete.
I mean, I don't know if I'd say fan of him completely, but this song at
Yeah,
least.
absolutely. Adam Sandler and Jared Leto is in
Yeah.
your rotation. Forever. All right.
Hope
All right.
not.
Well, okay. Well, speaking of other actors as well, let's go down. Let's talk about Jamie Foxx. We wishing him and his family the best, and apparently he is
I
recovering.
was about to say I looked it up. I don't know if it was yesterday morning or the day before, but again, what's being reported is he is recovering. Um, the doctors are still kind of keeping him just to make sure he's all checked out and in the clear and everything. Probably
Yeah.
be some time, but yeah, continue.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. So, of course, I've known of Jamie Foxx for pretty much my entire life, and I remember him from way back in the day when I want to say his first major role was on In Living Color, the
I think
improv
so.
show on Fox back in the day. That's my whole childhood essentially. And he would do little singing bits here and there, but I never really took him seriously as a singer. And then eventually, when he got his own sitcom, he was singing a lot more on there. And then he dropped his first album that kind of flopped, and then he kind of gave up on music for a little bit, and then all of a sudden he was like, you know what, I'm gonna jump back into the game, and then he really did his thing. Now on this song in particular, I didn't hear it until you submitted it. I mean, because I heard like his first two albums, and then after that I kind of checked out a little bit. But I dug this song. Sorry, I probably should say the song. You Changed Me, featuring Chris Brown, Jamie Foxx. I like this song. It's pretty dope. Good pick.
So while picking this song, or like, well, because we were talking. Once the news kind of broke about Jamie Foxx and his recent health issues, being the stroke or whatever it was, at that moment I was like, I gotta pick Jamie Foxx. Like, and he's an artist that like I knew he made music, but for me he was like he featured on like Gold Digger with Kanye, and he
Mm-hmm.
was in that I think it was T-Pain, the like club alcohol song that I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember the name
Yeah.
of.
Blame it on the
Yeah, Blame It
alcohol,
On. Yeah, yeah,
baby.
yeah. That one.
Hmm. And then
So,
also the Georgia song with Ludacris and Film Up. Georgia,
oh yeah, 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 yeah. Well,
Georgia.
he played
Yeah.
Ray Charles in
Mm-hmm.
his
And
like
Ray.
biopic, which I think is where that song came from, or at least was around that same time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I never really went back and listened to like his albums. Partly because, and I know you're planning to correct this at some point, but I'm not like super well knowledgeable, in depth with R&B in general.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Definitely a genre just at large. I've dipped my toes in here and there, but I've not really like submerged myself in that. So I had to go back and listen to a bunch of his songs to try and find one that like I really did like. And a lot of them, I gotta admit, are like, especially like you said from his early album, that kind of flopped. It's very like generic R&B, like, oh, I want to sex you up, baby, like that type of dumb stuff that like I don't necessarily like. I mean, that can be good. Like this song is basically that same thing, I guess, thematically, but the singing and then Chris Brown comes in and adds his own little twist to it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, this was definitely listening through all that. There was a few others that I almost picked, but this one just for some reason was just like I don't know, man. It was a vibe for me as I was listening to it, so I just kind of chose this one, almost kind of randomly between like the like three or four other song picks I had. Like kind of narrowed it down to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was one that I watched a music video just because it was my pick. And it's it's kind of funny to me just because I'm so used to him as an actor. Like whenever he's in the music video, I just see like Jamie Foxx the actor, and it's
Yeah.
almost like a dissonance between like, oh, this is actually him singing and he's
Mm-hmm.
in the music video, doing his part or whatever.
I will say, when we compiled the list, you did strategically put this after Lunch Lady. So
Yes,
I thank you so much for the palate cleanser
yeah.
because
I
that
kind
one
of
was
knew going
tough.
in Lunch Lady Land would be a rough. It would be a road bump, speed bump, so to speak. So yeah, I kind of wanted to put something a little nicer after that. You're welcome, by the way. Okay, this was one. Radio Company is the group. Sounds
Hmm.
of Someday. This was one I had to keep myself from googling
Oh, good. I'm excited now.
because I had no idea Radio Company is like a generic like company that sells radios name to me. Like whenever I heard it, I was like, radio company? Like what is that? I have no idea who this is. The singing is like almost hauntingly like just whoever is the singer. I don't know if it's the singer, one of the other musicians that's gonna be the actor you're about to tell me, but
Hmm.
um even though the lyrics are somewhat repetitive. I really
Mm-hmm.
dug this song just again because of the quality of the singing.
Mm-hmm.
That like I'm not like super musically like traditionally musically inclined, so I don't know what like the tone is. If it's like a baritone or like a bassy or
Mm-hmm.
what I don't know what the tone would be called, but
I would say kind of like a tenor, tenor
it,
singing baritone voice or whatever.
whatever it is that he's the singer has, just it was really hard. Like this is one of those songs I was definitely like belting out along with if I had it like in the
Yes.
car. It's like at the top of my lungs, like trying to hit that low note as I'm, as I'm singing it.
Y- Dude, this is like the one song I can perfectly harmonize with
Oh man,
without
it's a
using any kind of falsetto. But okay, cool. So this one I actually thought you actually knew. So now I'm excited. This is awesome. Okay, so similar to Tenacious D, this is an actor and his friend. His friend, unlike you suggested, his friend is the guitarist, but also does a little bit of the backing vocals as well. The lead singer, ooh, I'm so excited. The lead singer of radio, lead or co-singer, because his partner doesn't sing as well, is Supernatural's own Jensen Ackles, aka The Boys, Soldier Boy.
no way, dude.
That's
Oh,
Jensen
now that
Ackles.
you say that, yes. Oh my god, it is his voice.
Yep,
I can hear that.
that's Jensen
Oh
Ackles.
man.
That dude can sing his ass off,
Okay.
man. That is
Yeah, he
crazy.
can.
So like, and that song is off the first album. I think his first album. They think they had like three, and they actually dropped a new one recently. But
Oh,
I had to
dude.
go back to this one because like this is the one that gets me, especially that last note at the end, dude. It killed me
Yeah,
every time. I was like, repeat, 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 repeat. But yeah, that's Jensen Ackles,
dude.
aka Dean from was it Dean from Supernatural? I forget the name. But yeah,
I watched Supernatural back in the day, but not like just sporadically. I couldn't tell you for sure which character he was, but definitely Soldier Boy from The Boys as his most
yes,
recent, I think, role that
hmm
he could probably be known for. Dude, I had
yeah.
no idea. If you had given me 20 guesses, I don't think he would have been one of them. But now that you say it, oh my god, it makes so it yeah, like it's so clearly his voice once I like picture his face with the song. I'm like, yeah, that makes so much sense.
hmm
Man.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited. This brings me
He
joy.
is a oh man. So he has well, I gotta go back and listen. You said he had like 3 or 4 albums out?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, him and his buddy out in Texas, whatever, they'll get together and jam out and rock out or whatever. And yeah, they both make some phenomenal music, and it's I wouldn't say it's country per se. I guess it's a genre called Americana. I don't know what that is, but it's definitely it's like okay. I'm just like you. I'm not a connoisseur of country music, so people out there, forgive me if I'm misfiring here, but the kind of country I'm willing to listen to is this kind, not the going down a dirt road and got my beer and I got my truck. Like I don't want to hear that shit every time. This to me, this is acoustically sounding gravitas. Like you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's just that good.
It's still I can see why people would put it in country because it's talking
Yeah.
about like the whole idea of like going home
Mm-hmm.
and what that means to you is definitely like a theme you see in country music a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's definitely different enough. I do know Americana is a genre, I believe. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
right. That's another one I've really not. I think that's kind of like almost like a subgenre, maybe. I don't know.
I
That's
think
something we
so.
might need to look into.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I'm not only would I not mind listening to more of this, I'm 100% planning to go listen to more of this after this episode. This is one of the groups where I was like, I gotta like listen to some more of their stuff, see if this was like just their best song or if the other songs are up
It's
there
solid.
near this one as
It-
quality. So that's
oh yeah.
super exciting to me, dude. And also just I love him as an
Mm-hmm.
actor. Um, again, I wasn't like a huge fan of Supernatural, but both of the leads from Supernatural, I always enjoyed like their dynamic that they had as characters and how they played off each other. I always thought he was a great actor in that. And then again, of course, in the latest season of The Boys, he blew me away personally with his um, Soldier Boy role.
All right. Speaking of somebody else that I know, but I did not know that she was a singer. Hailee Steinfeld, Coast with Anderson Paak. So I wasn't really checking for Hailee Steinfeld like that, but if I'm not mistaken, I think she was in Hawkeye. and she
Yeah,
is now the new Hawkeye,
I
replacing
think so.
Hawkeye,
Yeah, I
because
believe that's right.
comics. So that's all I knew of her. I had no idea she was a singer, and this song was about. I love this
The
song.
song
This
is
song was
about.
great.
I've been a fan of her since. I'm trying to remember. I think it was like 2010, 2009, maybe. Um, the Western True Grit, or it was like a remake of an old Western, but True Grit. She
Okay.
plays the little girl in that, and like,
Oh, I didn't
dude,
know that was her.
she killed it in that movie. So
Yeah.
I've been a fan of hers ever since then. This song in particular, I kind of stumbled across maybe 2 or so years ago now. Whenever I first discovered Anderson Paak, however you say his name.
Hmm.
So whenever I first discovered him, I kind of went down a rabbit hole of like, oh, what all has he been in? Because he was just he has a very unique voice, but he also produces a lot of stuff that has kind of his own signature style sound to it. I feel like so I kind of went down a
Hmm.
rabbit hole and just ended up somewhere along the way stumbling across this song. I'll admit again, she's definitely more of like a poppy singer, which isn't necessarily my jam all the time. So that's why I picked this song, just because this is obviously my favorite with Anderson Paak coming in. But
Hmm.
yeah, man, she's a surprisingly good singer.
Yeah.
And like you said, this song is a bop. Like the mix between her singing and Anderson coming in are just like it's a good mashup.
Absolutely. And like this song makes me want to go back to the beach like right now. Like specifically, the PCH because I haven't been to California in many years. But I just want to go back to the beach and just have the song on repeat and just like have a whole moment with the song playing in the background. Like it just
It's a
takes you
it's a
there.
good it's a pretty good beach vacation song. Like you definitely
Yeah.
want like summer days with the windows down, you're driving along a coast somewhere type music, right? I feel like, or even just like you
Hmm.
said, just like pulling up to the beach, just putting in some earbuds and just basking in the sun. It's a good vibe. It's good
Yeah.
vibes all around. But yeah, man, I'm glad you liked that one. That was one
Hmm.
I was kind of like, I figured you would like it just because Anderson Paak, but again, you and me, I think in general are super big on the poppy stuff, but she definitely brings it in this one. And I did listen to some of her other stuff since then, and then again while I was like listening or trying to select a song for this podcast. This one was definitely one I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna pick this one. Let me just give some of her other songs a few listens, to see.
Hmm.
Um, she definitely could be. I mean, she's not. I don't think like best in the world level or anything like that, but she definitely could be a successful singer if she only wanted to do that, I feel like, and just kind of leave
Okay.
acting behind. So who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe in the future she might mash up with some more cool people that will kind of drag me back to listen to her music again or
Yeah.
more of her stuff in the future. All right, I'm gonna save my favorite song, kind of spoiling it for you, but not for everyone else. I'm gonna go with for my next pick, "Stronger Than Ever" by Ritchie.
Okay. Okay.
Um, this was one you may think that this one would surprise me, but I am actually well aware that this is Grey Worm from Game of Thrones.
You smart mother. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
I had listened to him or a few of his songs. I don't even remember, not too long ago, but sometime back. It's definitely like an alternate hip hop style sound almost,
Hmm.
with like his cadence, I guess, and his flow and like the type of beats he's on or whatnot. But I'm definitely here for it. Well, tell me, how did you come across this? How did you find this guy?
So, I think how did I? Okay, of course, I was watching Game of Thrones, and I think I watched some little like featurette or something, or whatever, and I think he mentioned something about like him acting and doing music and whatever else. Because spoiler alert, if you ever watched Game of Thrones, I think I saw this featurette or interview or whatever after his character was killed on the show. So I think he mentioned something. He was like, "Well, you never know. I may come back, may not come back," but being cheeky about it. But then he was like, "Yeah, but I can go back and do music or whatever." So I was like, "Oh, he did music. I'm bored. I'm gonna take a look." So and it was off the album. I think it's called "You're a Man Now, Boy." So I gave it a listen, and I was pleasantly surprised. Like, dude can really sing, and he got some flow, and I like the production because I went through a phase of trip hop, so I enjoyed the trip hop sound as well as like the British style of singing and stuff or whatever. So I definitely enjoyed the album. He has some. He's still doing music. I think he did something as late as 2020.
Hmm.
But this album in particular and this song in particular was like one of my jams that I have in constant rotation because it's just something about the energy with it. Just the fact, it's, pick yourself up and I'm gonna
Lyrically, it's
be
got a great message. Yeah, I like
exactly.
it. It's a pretty like powerful. It's a pretty
Yeah,
powerful message in a sense, I guess.
absolutely.
That was definitely like you said. I definitely enjoyed the production and his British style of singing slash rapping. But
Hmm.
definitely the thing that like stood out to me listening through this was the like theme or meaning behind the words.
Hmm.
Um, it's really good, like uplifting. Like I'm gonna get knocked down, but I'll get back up stronger than ever. Which is
Hmm.
like everyone needs that at different points in their life. Like they need to be reminded of that. Like, you can be knocked down, but it's how you get back up that matters, right?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And I just, along with that message, you feel that journey through the music because it starts off one way and then it just the music swells and you feel like you're like on that epic journey, the epic quest to regain yourself in that process. So
oh, it
I
swells, and then at the very end, it goes into where he actually has like a vulnerable moment too, which I really love.
hmm
Where he's like, I don't want to be on the road. I just want to be home. I want to see my mom and my family. I just want to relax. I don't want to be stressed
hmm
out all the time. But I'm chasing whatever I'm going after instead. And that's
hmm
tough. But no matter what happens, I'm gonna keep getting back up, keep going after it. It's a powerful song, man. A lot of
yeah.
meaning there. A lot of good stuff.
That's good. That's good.
And
Yeah. Like and most people didn't know Grey Worm, actually got vocals. So it's pretty
yeah,
dope.
well, similar to you, I think just a random like YouTube video where someone talked about it, talked about
Hmm.
like it was a random like video about Game of Thrones because like whenever that show was coming out, I was like one of their biggest fans for the TV show.
Hmm.
Like anything Game of Thrones related on YouTube, I would like just in hell basically. This is a pretty good pick, and I think
Okay.
this was the only hip hop. Well, I guess Anderson Paak on the Coast song is kind of hip hoppy, but
Well, you got your favorite rapper Tiffany Haddish. She did a little
uh,
something. That girl.
really, really stretching the line there by saying my favorite hip hop artist. Well, this is like the
Oh man.
only like true like straight up hip hop song on the list, which I think is notable comparing our pretty much all of our other episodes that are very hip hop centric. We definitely kind of
Yeah.
branched off a lot for this one, which just wanted to point that out.
Well, no, no. Spoiler alert. I think your other picks are actually more hip hop than this one.
That's okay. I was wondering if you were gonna go for that, but there's definitely an argument to be made for that. But I
Yeah.
guess you're about to introduce. So I think that's my. I think we're up to my last ones, right?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, these
So
are we gonna do just my pick, or are we gonna talk about both of these together?
we can talk about them both together.
Okay, yeah, let's
Yeah,
do both
yeah.
together.
All right, so yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about the Lonely Island.
The
I
Lonely
love these
Island.
dudes. I
I
love
love
these
these dudes
dudes.
too. These were definitely a huge part of my like middle school, early high school years.
Yeah.
They've definitely made music like beyond that year time frame of my life, but like the albums they had during that time was like definitely the ones I like cherish in my heart still.
Oh yeah.
Um, well, I'm gonna go ahead. I'll say my pick and talk about it, and then because whenever I introduced this, we were talking about it, like whenever
Oh
we were
yeah.
compiling this playlist, and you were like, "Oh man, yeah, I love Lonely Island. I got to add my own pick just so we can talk about it." And thought that was a great idea.
Yeah. So what had happened was we were trying to figure out artists, and you were struggling to fill out your portion of the list, and you were just like, uh, can I put the Lonely Island on there? I was like, fuck. Why did I not think about it? Because I was like, of all people, I was like, damn it, I could have put them in there. And he was like, nope, I got it now. Because I was gonna, you had the evil laugh and everything. Because I was about to kick Jared Leto's ass off this list and then put put my pick on there. And he was like, nope, I got a pick. I was like, God dang it. So I said, fuck it, I'm putting my song on there too because I have a favorite song by them that I listen to and repeat. Like unlike Adam Sandler, to me, I can listen to Lonely Island on repeat because
Yeah,
it's good quality. The humor resonates with me a lot more, and I can listen to the humor and the song, and they take the song very seriously. Like like they're in the moment. They're not breaking and doing stupid shit like Adam
no, they
Sandler.
definitely commit to the bit
They
for
commit.
sure.
They commit to the
Um,
bit.
and I mean, and they have like full on music videos made, like
Yes, the
and of course,
cameos.
Andy Samberg. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, especially like people around my age, might not. necessarily consider, like, whenever you say Andy Samberg, might not think of him as an actor before they think of Lonely Island, but
Hmm.
he's been in, of course,
Hot
Brooklyn
Rod.
Nine-Nine, Hot Rod. Like, he's been in a lot of comedy movies, but he's also been in, oh, there's this like drama where it's like a time loop movie, like Palm Springs or something like that, a couple of years back. That he really good movie, nailed it in that. So like as times went on, he's definitely kind of, in my opinion, made a name for himself as like a solid actor, both comedically and, like I said, the few times I've seen him not be in a comedic role, he's done a really good job in that as well. Similar to like Jamie Foxx, that I go back through, or Haley Steinfeld, I like go back through and like listen, but not because I was trying to like find which one I liked. It was trying to decide which one do I like the most. And even
Hmm.
then, it's literally any given day of the week that changes. Like in the moment when I picked this one, I was like, "This is it," and then like literally the next day, I was like, "But should I pick this other song?" But
Hmm.
I was gonna go say the song I picked was "Boombox" featuring Julian Casablancas, who is the lead singer from The Strokes. If you
Okay,
weren't
I was
aware,
gonna ask you who the hell is that person? I had
yeah,
no
yeah,
idea who
yeah.
they were.
So he
Okay,
comes in with like he comes in with some singing bits, like him and Andy Samberg kind of jump back and forth on the singing bits.
yeah, okay, because like when I, of course, when I listen to the song, is funny, it's crazy as hell. But when I listen to Julian's vocals, especially towards the end, I was like, is this a rocker that's doing a pop bit in the
It
song?
is 100%. It is,
Okay, all right, so okay, all right, that's what I was wondering because I was like, this is one I refrained from googling because I was like, I have to know who this person is. So
and
okay,
it works so well. And man, I gotta say, after listening to this song several times the last few weeks, just boiled goose
yes,
stuck.
dude, me
Has
too,
been stuck.
me
I'll just
too.
be I'll be somewhere not even remotely food related, and just not even the song, no actual line from the song, just that bit will pop in my head. It's the whole song, like you said, is funny, wild craziness. Like the boombox is bringing people together, but also making old people break down and have sex with each other in the nursing home.
Mhm.
But it's the every single group that he goes through is having boiled goose for lunch,
Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
just like, what? Why boiled goose? And it definitely sticks out, but like it's also in the song, like, not. I mean, I know he repeats it, but it's like not necessarily like extra attention isn't drawn to it beyond it being repeated in every verse. It's
Yeah.
just that bit just at the very least always makes me smile.
It makes me smile, it makes me laugh, it also makes me disgusted because here's the thing,
It
I
is
like to cook.
gross.
And I'm just like,
Boiled
just the
goose
thought
is
of just
disgusting.
boiled goose. I'm just like it just looks like I don't even know what a boiled goose looks like. I just picture like the most pale, bland looking piece of meat ever just put on the on the table. Like, here you go. We're rich and we have all the money in the world, but we want the most bland, tasteless,
Yeah.
good, yeah, yes.
If
It's
you
just
want to get a good visual representation, you should watch the music video for that. But I will say, as I was both listening to the song and I watched the video a couple times, they cut out one of the verses in the video, the verse where they are going to like the office with all the guys that are like doing a business meeting or whatever. That's not in the music video for some reason,
oh,
which makes me sad. But
lame.
they do show the boiled goose in every
Mm.
verse, like it's like pointed out to or whatever,
Ugh.
and it looks just as gross as it sounds, just as unpleasant. um yeah, well, what was your, go ahead and let's talk about your Lonely Island pick.
Okay, so this one, when I heard it for the first time, I was like, this is my shit. The fact being that Lonely Island got Hugh Jackman and Kristen Wiig to sing on this pop R&B hip hop influenced song, and Hugh Jackman sounds phenomenal. I didn't
He
even knew
does
the
sound
dude was
pretty,
sing, and like then I was like, and people was like, yeah, he's this lame miserable or whatever or something.
yeah, that was like his first, like that was the first time I think most people kind of knew he could sing, but
I just knew Wolverine, so I'm just like, oh, Wolverine
me
is singing
too,
now. That's all
me too,
I
man.
knew. So, but just the premise of the song, just the fact, like around that time, I'm not even sure if it's still a fashion thing because I'm not out there like that. But like girls are just walking out with just one titty hanging out, and like that was the fashion statement, and that's the whole song. And then Kristen Wiig had to flip it up at the end, and just
Why is it
so it was
always
just
the
like,
girls with the team? What about the boys? What do you want? Ah,
what you
I'm
had in
so
mind.
embarrassed. It's so dumb.
I'm so humiliated. Like, have you heard this?
Yeah.
Have you heard that one before, or in a while at
No, I was
least?
about to say this was one that I had not heard because I think this was one of
What?
their
Those are the
more.
recent ones, I think. Or
It was one
more
of the more
recent
recent
ones.
albums.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was like right around the time where like I like kind of stopped listening to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like okay, now that I'm looking at the album, there's a few of these songs that I do remember, like Three Way, The Golden Rule featuring Justin Timberlake,
Mm-hmm.
The Compliments featuring Too Short. Like there's definitely some songs in there, but I didn't like listen to the whole album. So this was
Mm-hmm.
definitely one that this one caught me a little by surprise.
When I
And
saw
I
that, I was
definitely was
like,
like, the first time I was listening to it, I was dying laughing, dude. Like I was in my car on the way to work and like literally teared up a little bit. I was laughing so hard.
I freaking love that song, man. Like that's another one. Like between what's the name? Sounds of Someday and You Got the Look. Like I had those on repeat. And then Coast as well. I had those on repeat a lot. But yeah. Girl, you got the look, you got the look. just hear Hugh Jackman singing about a chick
Yeah,
having one titty out. One
it's
titty out, one titty out.
it's great in the most ridiculous way. It's like it's so on brand for them too. It's mwah,
Yeah.
chef kiss.
Yes, perfect, perfect.
My
All right, and I guess the grand reveal for everybody is your pick, Danielle Brooks.
my I think this might surprise you. It might be a little bit surprising for you. This was my favorite song. Like
Wow,
by a good margin, I would say,
wow.
of your picks. Just because, dude, this song is so powerful in its
Mm-hmm.
meaning. And literally, before I even got done listening to it the first time, the song had me. Well, actually, I should say the song. It's Black Woman by
Mm-hmm.
Danielle Brooks. Um, I was listening to it again on the way to work. It was the first time I was like listening to this playlist, and this one's near the top. And like, but before I even got like halfway through, I think it was like the second time the verse comes up. It had me singing, "I'm a black woman." Like I was like belting it out, dude. Like it's so good. It's so good, man. Like
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I wish you had a dash cam for that moment.
me too.
Seeing you sing that moment, sing "I'm a black woman."
And like just
It's super
I
powerful.
forget what song you were talking about. I think it was whenever we were talking about Sounds of Someday, but you used the word
Mm-hmm.
gravitas.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a perfect word for this, man. This song has this like, it's like you want my thighs, you want my stride, but not this melanin. You want my hair, but you don't care for my complexion. Like that's just that alone is like such a powerful thing. And then it's the everything else she's talking about in the song is just like, again, it's so meaningful. Like I played this for my coworker who's a black woman, and even she
Mm-hmm.
was like kind of like she had to like take a second to like compose herself afterwards. Like that's a good song, and I'm like
Mm-hmm.
right, and then of course somebody laughing like, no, imagine me singing, I'm a black. um, yeah, man, like just literally on like the powerfulness of the theme and like what she's talking about, combined with her just like belting it out, like
Mm-hmm.
tremendous singing, I thought. But yeah, this was definitely I think my favorite. Now I will say this was someone I have no idea who the hell Danielle Brooks is. Not a
Okay,
clue.
good. Yeah, because I was just about to ask you that. So, have you ever heard of the Orange Is the New Black?
Yeah, I never
That
really
show.
watched it. My roommate loved that show, but I never really got into it.
Okay, well, tell your roommate Tasty is a black woman.
Okay.
So that's the character she played on that show, Tasty. That was her nickname. So she's a phenomenal actress in that. And more recently, she was in Peacemaker on HBO. HBO Max. She was the lead actress in there who she turned out to be a slight spoiler for Peacemaker. Um, she played Amanda Waller's daughter.
Okay, so this was one of the two that I watched the videos. This was the other one I watched the video for. And I
Mm-hmm,
did, as I was looking, like watching her, because it's just like her in a bathtub, which the video is kind of powerful too,
mm-hmm,
because it like cuts between her in a bathtub and then like her,
mm-hmm,
she's like got tears running on her face as she's singing, which really adds to the gravitas and it's like the meaning behind it. But I was definitely sitting there like, she looks familiar.
mm-hmm.
but the name didn't ring any bells. And I've definitely seen Peacemaker.
Hmm.
Love that show. John Cena kills it
Yes.
in that. If he
Yep.
makes music,
Yeah.
he might have been a good pick for this. But off topic on that. Okay. Now that you
Yep.
say that, yeah, I'm thinking back, and yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I
Yeah.
definitely remember her now, or her character at least.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so she was the main spy out of water character dealing with Peacemaker and trying to reel them all in or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
um, circling back to the Keke Palmer topic, this is what I was alluding to earlier in the show. Um, when it comes to the industry and when it comes to a lot of things in social standards and stuff, colorism is a thing, especially in different cultures, but more so in music. So you will see a lot of fair skinned R&B artists be more successful compared to more darker skinned R&B artists. So I think that also contributes. Again, this is just my opinion. You can throw it, feel free to comment, shoot your hate my way, it's fine. But I think that's where Keke Palmer struggled as well, because you got the Beyoncé's and all of them doing it, and Beyonce to me, again, I'm about to say something controversial. She's a great singer. Is she the best singer?
Eh,
But she's a great singer.
pretty good
But
rapper.
yeah, better rapper than singer. Third world trio all day. But but the subject matter and Black Woman, it struck me because working in retail and you see all the different beauty products and all the different things that people, are craving or whatever is the quote unquote trend. I'm just like, so y'all doing lip injections? Now y'all trying to get booties now? Now you want eyelashes? I'm like, there's some people that already got that, but and then she literally says it in the verses of the
Yeah,
song, like you want this piece, you want that part, you want that, but you don't want
you
yeah.
don't want the whole thing. Yeah, man. Again, that's just as a white guy who grew up kind of sheltered. I didn't necessarily have a ton of interactions with a whole lot of different cultures and races growing up. I've definitely tried to make it a point in my life as an adult to like try and get the perspectives and like see like the struggles and what people that aren't from my background and of my race, what kind of issues they have to deal with and what they go through. And this was definitely like, because I do have a lot of black friends that I've kind of been keyed into some of the issues that were talked about in the song, but like this was just like a real kind of almost eye opener moment for me where I was like, yeah, that makes so, because you, like you just said, you do see people like big butts, long eyelashes, braids, all this other stuff. Like it's just
Hmm.
picking and choosing bits you like, and then just like trying basically discarding the rest, and like that's so demeaning, I guess. I don't know if that's necessarily the right word, but
Oh no, the right word is fucked up. That's what it
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. Um, and like, and then not even just that. She also talks about how, like, I think in the second verse, how she never saw a leading lady look like me. Like that's another thing. Like,
Hmm.
and it's so pertinent today with like just recently with the Little Mermaid remake. People getting up in arms about it, and it's like, man, people that like aren't white for the longest time did not have a lot of representation in media, and like that people don't realize, especially white people that grew up with their own multitudes of representation. You don't realize what that like does to you mentally, right?
Hmm.
And like that's just, man, it's, again, it's just so pertinent, so still like on topic today. I don't know exactly when this song came out, if it's like super recent or not.
No,
um
it's I think it's like a one-off thing. Like she just kind of just dropped this song out of nowhere. This is back in 2019 when she dropped this. So I haven't really heard her do any other music per se. I know she is going to be starring in the Color Purple movie that's in production
oh,
now. So, and I think it's going to be musical, but it's like a remake of that movie that's coming up
okay,
with her
okay.
and a couple other singers as well. But yeah, just to piggyback on everything you said, man, it's again, I obviously, being a black person, I witness a lot of these different things. Obviously, I'm not a black woman, except for when I sing this song, I'm a black woman. But but my day to day, I don't identify as that. But um, talking about reaching out to different cultures and stuff, it's shocking to me that even in other cultures, colorisms, melanin is a whole thing. So it's just it's really mind blowing.
Kind of sad too, man. Like, we just all just like accept people for who they are, right? Like, everyone has like great things, man. You just take them as they are, as a whole package.
Exactly, exactly. All sales are indeed final.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon. Let's talk about some recommendations you want to lead the listeners with today.
So, my off topic recommendation today is a group that I have been a fan of since I first listened to them, or first like found their, like, I guess, debut album in like 2013, I think, 2013, 2014. Churches. And that's spelled, instead of a U, it's CHVRCHES. Just, I guess, indie, like, kind of, I don't really know what, help me out here. What genre would you classify them
I
as?
would probably put them as alt indie,
Alt
so to
indie? Yeah,
speak.
that's okay. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
If I had to put them into a box, that's what
Yeah.
I kind of put them into.
Um, the singer, she has a pretty stellar voice, in my opinion. I could listen to her sing all day. They've also got a few different songs or like videos on YouTube where they've like covered different groups and different groups of songs. She just like absolutely kills it. Also, a little bit about me. I had a huge crush on her for a long time. I thought she was like super cute. Still think she's
Okay.
super cute, but like, not necessarily have a crush on her anymore. Um, but yeah, they have, I think, like, 4 or 5 different albums. They've been steadily making music over the years. Yeah, man, there's a lot of good songs that range from like stuff that kind of has, kind of like Black Woman. It's got some meaning behind it. Really kind of tackling some like issues and stuff. But then also just some straight up bops. It's just like you just kind of jam out to with your, turn the knob all the way up on your car and you're speeding down the highway or whatever. It's like good songs for that too.
So, for my off-topic recommendation, it is random,
Very off topic.
very off-topic, but I enjoyed it. At the time of recording, the new Street Fighter Six is on its way out, or coming out soon. So right now they got like the beta and stuff out, but they released the theme songs for the characters, and it's like 18 tracks for the soundtrack, and I freaking love the music. The music is phenomenal.
Dude, okay. I gotta admit, I've never been. I know you're definitely more when it comes to video games. You're kind of the fighter type game
Hmm.
person. I've never really been into
Yeah.
those as much. I've definitely never really been a Street Fighter fan. Dude, I was listening to these just like a little bit last night and then finished it this morning. That playlist that you sent me. Um, Man, some of those songs just go so hard, bro.
For no reason, right?
Like for it to be just no vocals, just 8-bit techno like sounds for a lot of them. Like, yeah, just for no reason, I would like literally stop and be like, all right, which character? Like, literally, I think it's like the second or third, but like the Lily theme was like the first one that made me go like, okay, what? Which characters? I need to like kind of make a note. Which character is this? Like, yeah,
Hmm.
it definitely goes hard. As someone who again wouldn't necessarily like listen to or like seek this stuff out, was very pleasantly surprised.
This isn't your old classic,
No, no,
button
no.
masher,
It's yeah,
Street Fighter Two level. They got like some K-pop influence, some hip hop influence, like some rock moments in there from time to time, depending on the character, and it just really like I honestly like I'm probably gonna end up getting the game just for the soundtrack. And like I'm not even like I'm more of a Mortal Kombat dude, but just for the soundtrack alone, I might end up
and
just getting the game.
I feel like I can't stress this. The production is just so tight on
Hmm.
every song I listen to, man. It's just like you said, it definitely still has the like I know I said like 8-bit sound or whatever. It's definitely like you could tell that that's it's
It's an homage to the original
homage.
Street
Yeah,
Fighters.
that's a good word for it. But undoubtedly like literally out of the gate, first 2-3 notes, you're like, oh, this is not like old Super Mario Brothers remake. Like, no, this is a modern production that,
Hmm.
like you said, they add a ton of different influences, and it just meshes so well, dude. Like, I don't know how else to say it besides just the production is just like top notch on all of
Oh
it.
yeah.
How they brought it all together and like combine the homage to the older style sounds with all of that. It's just like I was
Hmm.
whenever you first sent it, I was a little apprehensive. I was like, okay, video game music, I'm sure it'll be like decent, but no, several of them, like I said, kind of blew me away with how it was all produced and wrapped up together in a nice like package, I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean 808s galore. Like, come on now, like, like, doggone Ken and Ryu with that thump. What you talking about? So, but anywho, definitely check those out. Check out Churches. Check out Street Fighter. Check out the playlist for this episode on YouTube as well as on our website, afterlistenpod.com. And feel free to rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.